So we're taking off. And I think it's great that we could start in this way at this meeting, and it shows how important it is to come together as Europeans, and that we can achieve more actually when we are bringing all knowledge and contacts and all powers we have together to get things rolling. It is a very exhausting and difficult task we have. It has been shown already to be difficult. But by being together, we can do much more. The next slide, please. Yeah. This gives a short overview of my presentation, I hope. Yeah, it does. Oh, that's good. And after me, Pernille will give a presentation where we came from. I will tell where we are standing at the moment, and she will tell us about the ECI and what we have learned from that. The next slide. Oh no, not yet the next slide. I'm so sorry. I will be presenting what we have or want to achieve, our formal objectives, members and participants of Europeans for Safe Connections, and a view on relations with other organizations, and I already tasted this, of course, with the presentation. So I will take 20 minutes, and Pernille will then take 20 minutes, and the idea is that you then may have questions to be answered. Next slide. So what we want to achieve with the ESC is most diverse, actually. What you already heard from Kent is that there is a diversity of activities needed to get where we need to come. First of all, we feel it is important that our modern society very soon is going to understand that there is adverse effects of EMFs. You know, but most of the people around us, they really don't know. It's not only about wireless communication. It's about all technology that uses non-ionizing radiation. So what we have stated is from 0 to 300 GHz where we are interested in. Not only mobile communication, it also includes the electricity network, but also things like medical equipment, radio, television, radar, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, go on. It's a near endless list of technological equipment that irradiates EMF in our modern society. We want to become a very powerful alliance in Europe of organizations understanding the impact of EMFs in the processes of life. In this alliance, we very explicitly want to cooperate with scientists and researchers, as you have seen already, and I think we can support these scientists with all kinds of activities as well. From telling and spreading the outcome of their research, to giving input like monitoring of EMF radiation levels in public places, or creating data on the impact of EMFs on life, on EHS people, to be more precise. And of course, we want to reach out to the politicians to make them also understand the impact of EMF, with of course the ultimate results, change of rules and much lower exposition than we have at the moment. Not only lower exposure levels in the laws, but also in practice from what we see at the time. We also see the need to educate people how to change their behavior when it is about the use of radiating equipment. Nobody can see EMFs, so we all have to learn how to practice a sound EMF hygiene. Most people have no idea about this. We even see people that have discovered to be EHS that are still using this smartphone and Wi-Fi without a good view on the effects on their body. So educating people is extremely important, we think. Next slide, please. You do understand that this is about a very big change for our society. These changes that are required most likely won't come as a big bang. We will have to find out what steps can be promoted and what are successful approaches. Every step, even the smallest one, counts. We all know the process is slow at the time, and to achieve improvements we need endurance with one another. Next slide, please. As you are here, you all know there are lots and lots of problems with EMFs and digitalization, and this slide shows some of the problems. Let me have a look. Yeah, okay, that one. When I first read the Bio-Initiative report, I think it was something like 2009, 2010, I could not believe the big variety of biological effects on our body. Until I understood that EMFs work at the level of living cells. Depending on the cell type in one's body that are impacted by the EMFs, the functionality may decrease, leading to all kinds of variations of effects. Next slide, please. But why is all this happening? Why does no one timely intervene? We have learned from the European Environmental Agency by their report Late Lessons of Early Warning, and actually David G. already talked about it this morning. Authorities have an extreme slow response to all new environmental issues. As with asbestos that David G. mentioned, it may take up to 100 years from the first sign in science about health effects until effective measures are being taken. But we can't wait for 100 years. It is important for us to confront authorities with the impact of EMFs and to continue to confront them until they have understood and introduced the changes that are needed. Next slide, please. This is how it works. And this is how it will work with EMFs as well. So next slide. Why does Europe actually need Europeans for safe connections? We actually, especially the people who are sitting here, having EHS or understanding EHS, we are the experts of how it works out. By personal experience, or maybe in other ways, we became aware of the damaging effects of EMFs. We see a continuous densification of electrosmog due to all kinds of smart innovations as well as electrifications. Nowadays we live in an innovation society where everyone is free to introduce innovations without sufficient controlling tools in society to timely understand and compensate for the side effects. That's a general issue, not only with EMS, but with all modern technology. We don't have such tools in society. And we have to point out society at this lack of effective tools. And of course we focus at the EMFs, but the mission actually in that respect is much larger to get results. That's what I think at least. Until now, Europe has no requirements for environmental impact assessments of EMFs. It's even explicitly excluded from the rules that there should be an impact assessment with radiation. And we will continue to ask for it. We asked for it in the ECI and we will continue to ask for it. Our human rights to be free from an overdose of radiation is heavily tampered with. So that needs to be addressed urgently as well. It's not only humans that suffer. The Earth is covered in a densifying layer of electrosmog. All nature is impacted by radiation. All organisms on Earth are protected from cosmic radiation. But life is not protected against the problems we, as humans, have created ourselves with our artificial radiation. There is a lot of science showing the impact of EMFs on life, as Kent just explained. But industry is casting doubts on this scientific knowledge, and it is difficult to understand that even organs of government are casting doubts as well. It's very surprising. I still feel it is very surprising that this is the situation. But this is what you see actually with all environmental issues. Authorities wait for taking measures until full proof of harm is available. So it is a way of dealing with science. And this way of dealing with science is the reason why it can take up to 100 years before effective measures are taken. A radical, different approach is needed. And what can we do? We can use many different ways to get human rights. Lobbying, publishing, advertising, educating, legal actions, and so on. So there are a lot of possibilities for us. Next slide, please. It's time for change. It's time for ESC. Now we are an official non-governmental organization. We have our seat here in Belgium, and we have filed our Articles of Association in this country. And the Articles of Association of ESC show our formal objective, and this slide gives a short summary of the same. We've discussed it extensive with one another. We want a general understanding that EMFs have adverse effects on humans, animals, plants, and all other forms of life. So we want better regulation to protect life. But we also see the human rights that need to be better protected. We think working together in a powerful alliance in Europe is needed to bring about the change needed. However, our time and energy is scarce, so we need to use our resources efficiently. Working together has the advantage of bringing our actions at a higher level with more impact when we coordinate the same. Next slide, please. This slide shows the varieties of possibility that ESC can use, as identified also in the Articles of Association. It still needs to be decided what exactly we're going to do, and that we will discuss tomorrow amongst one another in an open debate. And Charlotte Roy, I don't know if I pronounce her name correctly, because it's for a Dutchman a bit strange. Roy. So it's a bit difficult for me. Roy. And she also serves as our secretary, and she will be here tonight, I think. Yeah, she will come tonight. An important of ESC, of course, it's the next slide, is slide 12, I think. There will be a focus on the politics in Europe. And as I'm late, I will go quickly through to the next one. Yeah, it's very interesting, but I won't say it. We have a list of the advantages as we see from the ESC. That's slide 13 of the alliance. We've noticed that people active in the member organizations already fully occupied with all kinds of important matters, and therefore we see the need to be smart in the way we're going to act. But my own experience is actually that it's great to work together, and you also gain many friendships from it over the wire, actually, over whole Europe. The next slide, we have by now about 30 member organizations, and I've picked most of the logos, but it's not all. I think I missed 10 of them. But you see all the member organizations here. And in the next slide, you see the contacts we already have worldwide. A lot of contacts in Europe, but also outside, up to America. And it's really great that we all have these contacts already, and we can use them with all the activities we are going to deploy. 15, yeah, 16, slide 16. Although we are still in transition from the ECI work to the Alliance of EMF Conscious Organizations, there are already many important activities. This shows we are at the end. I see. That's very good. Yeah, it's clear. Yeah. So if you also want the precautionary principle to be applied in an effective manner, do you want to be all live, to be protected? Then join the Europeans for Safe Connections. We will do it together. We will do it rational. We will do it focused. We will do it creative and wise. We will also show endurance. We will be inspiring. And we will be successful. Thank you very much.